Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another great episode of Bahrain Now, your source of local initiatives, happenings, talents, and trends. I'm your host, Bara Abdulla, here to walk you through our exciting lineup of segments and personalities from around Bahrain. So don't go away, we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a beautiful talk. As with us today is a special and very talented guest. She is a lecturer at the University of Bahrain and a fellow of the Higher Education Academy in the UK with a passion for story writing and narration in addition to dramatics, debating, and public speaking. With us today is the writer herself, Saira Goveas. Good evening, how are you?
I'm well, thank you, Bara. How are you?
I am excited to learn more about you and your adventure with the writing and the narration and all of that taking place in your world. Tell us more about yourself.
I'm basically a very simple English teacher, very passionate about the English language. I've been here for a long time.
Okay.
I used to write poetry when I was a kid.
Okay.
And story writing is like a new interest.
Okay.
And it came about because of the COVID-19. I was very depressed being at home, doing nothing. So I put
Okay.
all my energies into writing stories.
Wow.
And then I said, why not try publishing them? And that's how this came about.
Wow. You say it's simple, but I'm sure you had a big thing going on. I'm sure you're like an amazing teacher yourself.
I hope so. I hope that's what my students think too.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. Watching this like, that's my teacher.
I
She's on
hope so.
TV."
Yes.
So you've been writing because of COVID all of a sudden, like things were like pretty much everything is closed down, and then you put your energy into writing stories.
Yes.
I mean, did you always want to write, or something just happened, something sparked you to write?
I've always wanted to write,
Okay.
actually. But I wanted to write longer stories, like novels.
Okay.
And there was a time when I did start, it's somewhere on my old laptop.
Okay.
But, you know, there were commitments and obligations of being a
Right.
mom and work. So I didn't actually get the time. And I should be really thankful to the pandemic because it gave me enough time. I was doing online teaching.
Okay.
So it saved me the driving time and all that. And that's how I could just, you know, focus all my energies into writing and getting it better.
Okay.
And just thought of publishing it.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
I should thank the pandemic, even
Right.
if no one else does.
Well, I mean, it got people to do things that they never were able to do because of time, right? Some learned an entire language.
Yeah,
And we had them
true.
here talking about it as well.
True.
Some learned to pretty much develop applications, but you put your time and effort into writing books and publishing them. Writing is one thing, but to get it published is another. So that's amazing.
I'm surprised I got that far too. Yes.
Amazing. So now you said even before approaching this, you were trying to and putting your effort into writing novels. What kind of genres? Are we talking like horror, Stephen King kind of stuff, more into philosophy, romance?
Never. I think it was more sharing culture.
Okay.
I know I come from India where there's a very rich culture.
It is. Oh my
And
God.
every state has so many different things that you will not see in the next state. Starting from language, traditions in marriage, in customs, in food, in clothes, in everything. So I started a novel about my culture,
Okay.
about the traditions in my hometown,
Where is?
which is Mangalore.
Mangalore. Oh wow.
Mangalore,
Yes.
yeah. And we have quite a few very interesting, very surprising for people traditions, and I wanted to get them in the story.
Okay.
So that's what I wanted to share with the world, my life back from my hometown.
That is beautiful.
So it wasn't a particular genre, like definitely not romance, I'm not that person. I cannot write it. Spooky, I've had people asking me write spooky stories for kids. Perhaps I'll think about it
To scare them
next.
to go back to bed.
I really don't know because there are some kids who like these stories.
Okay.
So hopefully I'll think about it.
All right.
That could be. But now I'm more into life skills. And I have heard people saying that because my children can't go to school, they have lost touch with the world and they need to learn some skills.
Okay.
So my first book, if I might say,
Oh yeah, please.
I started writing a series of stories about inanimate objects.
Okay.
My first story was actually about a tomato, a cherry tomato.
All right.
But then when I looked at the stories I had and I said, which one should I publish? Which one will be well received? And I saw this house smiling at me in my head. And that's the image I got that's on the book. So when I got my illustrator to do the picture, I said, no, this is what I have in my mind, change it. And finally, I got to what I had in my mind.
Wow.
So that was the one that went into publication. And then I had people telling me, there are a lot of storybooks. I had someone tell me, why don't you write life skills? Because kids don't have life skills these days.
Never heard of that myself as well. Like more like self-help books for kids.
Actually, it is. Yeah, it's simple things like learning to share because they don't meet people.
Wow.
Learning to help your mother. Learning to, tend or care for your pet. Or helping dad with the garden. Things that you cannot directly tell a child, I think you should help your mom. But it's nicer to tell it, imply it through a story. And the kid says, oh, if he can do it, so can I.
Right.
So I came up with this character of Edgar.
Okay.
And I said, why not call him Eager Edgar? Because he's eager to learn stuff. And that's how the new life skill series came about.
Wow.
So I have 5 in them, each
Okay.
saying one thing, like the first one is learns to share,
Learn to share. Okay.
bathes his pet, learns magic words,
Nice.
rakes the leaves,
Nice.
helps his mom.
Help his mom. And that?
And that is the one about the house that wanted to be mobile. So
Interesting.
basically, these are life skills. When kids read them, they learn indirectly learn a certain skill. But in that one, it's like aiming for the impossible. A house can never move, right? But if you put your heart to it, if you have the willpower, and you can make the impossible happen. So I wanted that message to convey to the kids. You can, don't think nothing is possible. Everything is possible.
Wow. Wow.
So I hope it made sense. And
To me, it really does. I mean, to be
and
honest.
finally it becomes a caravan, which is a moving house.
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically I'm teaching them a new word
Okay.
and I'm telling them that the house made it. It still got mobile and it could go on holiday with the family.
There you go. Why the expenses, right?
Yes,
Moving house.
yes. It's like, okay, my house, I'll take it with me. I'll feel more comfortable. Yeah.
Okay. So, it's a brilliant idea. How was the reception? I mean, what's the feedback by parents and others?
I don't know about parents as such, but the few people I've spoken to love the illustration and they said it's very captivating.
Okay.
So maybe, and the kids liked it as well because illustrations are so important for kids' stories. But it has been going pretty well, I should say.
Okay.
I'm just new, so it has to, catch on,
Yeah.
and people have to know what it is. It
Right.
takes time.
I'm sure.
takes
Well,
time.
and maybe you never know. Like maybe just in one day, that's it. You go viral because you are introducing something that is not pretty much the norm for kids, which
Right.
is self-help books. I would say, if that's
Yes.
the right genre to put them under.
What exactly would you mean by
Like
self-help?
pretty much telling kids what to do and normal skills,
Yes, I think that the new genre is life skills.
life skills.
Yes,
Okay.
that's how they call it.
Okay.
And when I researched it online, they have different skills for different age groups.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
I went by the life skills for a certain age. What are they supposed to know at that age?
Okay.
And like 5 to 7 is my CDs. And the next thing I want to do is 7 to 9. So I want to know, like at 7, what should a kid know?
Right.
What should, maybe he should know how to make his own sandwich. Maybe he should know some first aid. Yeah, maybe he should know a personal hygiene. So, you know, sorry, kids are like, if you tell them some kids are with the no syndrome, they'll say no, no. So maybe give them a book and say, this is what happens if you're not clean, if you're not hygienic. So you're implying through a story, you're telling
That's
them
beautiful.
this is important and you need to do it.
That is smart. That is smart, especially in a contemporary world, I would say, where they're infused with social media and the phone
Absolutely.
and all of that. So what
Absolutely.
happens is that when you present a book, it's the experience of flipping a book is one thing, right?
Yes, yes, I
Different
agree.
colors, their eyes
Yes.
are looking at different colors that's more natural than just something out of a screen.
Yes.
And then your imagination will have to do the work of how this character will move, talk, read,
Absolutely,
and act,
yeah.
right?
But
Whereas everything is handed to them on a silver plate saying, this is what your character is doing and sounding like. But when you give them a book, your imagination starts to work, and then whatever they learn, it gets engraved, which is, I think, is brilliant.
Yeah, why I wanted to write, maybe you want to know what was my objective. My first objective was to make kids read, because in the modern world with technology, as you said, with the mobile phones and the video games, reading is just going downhill. And there's, you know, reading is so important,
Yeah.
and it's a pastime that everyone should have. And so I said, okay, if I can write and get the books out there and encourage students, little kids to read, I'm doing something. And you know, children are so malleable, you can impact their lives through stories. So I said, why not? And that's how I came about writing the stories. And through the stories, I would like them to learn some general knowledge,
Right.
maybe new vocabulary, better English, correct English, and of course, every book has a message.
Right.
So it's not just there for fun. It is through fun you're getting a message.
Amazing. Beautiful. And like pretty much if I'm going to give my kids the books, which I'm planning to, it comes as like a package, right? Or we can take them separately?
You can actually, but I've just called them life skill series because they come into one age category.
Okay.
And each one has one life skill,
All right,
which the kid
beautiful.
would like to know. But you can buy them
Yeah.
individually or whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, and I'm happy because one of the persons I spoke with said, your books are different. I said, why? Why do you favor my books and why am I here? She says because some of the books that she has come across are very direct, as I mentioned earlier. Very instructional, like do this, which is not fun for kids.
Right.
But she said, your books are kind of, you know, the message is very hidden. There's a story.
There's a story.
And so you're not like being directly
Right.
giving them advice. So she says, so I think I can think of the next series soon.
Okay.
For the next stage.
For the adults, maybe even. You know, all the way up there.
That's a long way off. I have to finish all the kids and the teenagers and then reach the adults.
Well, you
hopefully.
never know. Like pretty much our next interview will be for the next, you know, group of age. Pretty much, I think. So this group is from what age to what age?
5 to 7.
5 to 7. So we got now 8 to 9 or
Yeah.
to 10,
Yes.
and then the teenagers.
Usually 2 years.
We'll be seeing you for the next 2 years. Good. Fun times ahead.
Thank you, Bara.
Wow. So the future looks great, pretty much as you see what's happening here, and you get to have more editions. You get to take whatever experience you have from the first edition to the next one and next ages and all of that, and I can see a lot of advancements. How do you feel about that? Pretty much having a long-term plan with this.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
First thing is I'm surprised because my intention when I wrote was never what I'm getting now. I just did it for fun. I just wanted to feel good about myself because I was feeling a bit low because of the situation and, you know, the pandemic and
Right,
being
right.
depressed.
It's hard.
And then I was very happy seeing the book in print. That was my reward. But now that I am getting all the attention and the appreciation, I'm really surprised
Wow.
by this. And
Wow.
I'm like, yeah, oh, maybe I deserve it. I'm not sure. But it has really surprised me. But it has not, it's not going to hold me back.
Okay.
And I'm not looking for it. So I'm just looking to fulfill my passion of writing. And I'll keep writing with that in focus.
Amazing, amazing.
Yes.
And that was not the only thing you've been doing. Pretty much you have your thing going on in the business administration world as well.
Not much. I think that's a mislead here. I have a literature degree.
Okay.
And sorry, most of my qualifications are in English.
Okay.
The business thing was a detour as a challenge to myself.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't have much expertise in that, although I have the theoretical knowledge.
Right.
But I think it has helped me become what I am. The course was so demanding that it has taught me confidence and given me certain skills which I wouldn't have had maybe if I had not done it.
Okay.
So it has added to my personality, I should say.
I'm sure it did.
Yes.
And it shows. It actually really shows.
Thank
leadership
you.
role going on right here.
Thank you.
Amazing, amazing.
Yes.
Well, any last words to the viewers and myself right here on Bahrain Now?
Yes, if someone is like me, wanting to write, I would say 3 things. Get started right away. Second is, don't be afraid to start. You have to do it. And third, it's never too late. It's better late than never.
Okay.
And on a parting note, I would like to say a big thank you to all who have been there for me to get this into books, my stories, my family, my friends, and specifically the ISA Cultural Center, who have been so supportive and encouraging in all my endeavors.
Yes.
So a big thank you to them, and thank you to everyone.
Wow.
Thank you, Bara.
Oh, and thank you for being with us right here and accepting our invitation for this beautiful talk. Wow. Now I know pretty much where is going to be my next purchase. You know, if you heard of it, you know, it's called Life Skills. So we're going to talk about that pretty much with my kids now. Well, thank you so much, Sarah, for being with us right here on Bahrain Now, and we cannot wait to have you back again for, you know, more advancements, more books, and more talks about the other ages you're going to pretty much approach in the future. Thank you so much appreciated.
Thank you, Bara. Thanks
Most
for having
definitely.
me. My pleasure.
Definitely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was our beautiful talk with the very talented Sarah Goveas right now with her books. Do check it out, all that taking place right here in interview on Bahrain Now. And now, in yet another outstanding achievement for the Kingdom of Bahrain. Catalyst 2030, the global movement of people and organizations that are powering system change to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) by 2030, announced the winners of the Catalyst 2030 Awards for Systematic Change 2022 at Al Thorpe House in UK. And this year, the Bahrain Science Center for Sustainable Development Goals has won in the Government's Award category. And to speak more about this, we have here with us is the Director of Bahrain Science Center for SDGs, Ms. Latifa Mtaywiya. Good evening. How are you?
I'm doing really great, and I'm really happy to be here, Bara. Thank you so much.
Oh, definitely. And congratulations
Thank
for the
you.
award. I mean, that's amazing. Tell us more about it.
So the Bahrain Science Center for SDGs won the award this year in the MENA category, and we're so happy and honored to be recognized globally for such an achievement.
Wow.
And the awards, the Catalyst 2030 Awards, they represent a celebration of people, organizations, and individuals who accelerate progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals.
Amazing, amazing. And it seems like Bahrain right now is so well versed in SDGs, the youth and everybody. We have now a ministry for SDGs as well, all that taking place, and now reaching out to our goals in 2030 is even more clear, more achievable, and more doable right now. And
Definitely.
now winning this award itself is such a pride for Bahrain. So congratulations and much appreciation for you and everybody who worked so hard on this. You must feel so proud and, you know, so thrilled.
Yeah, definitely so. It came again, to reach the stage of the finalists and then be announced as the winners was quite humbling, but also, let's say, surprising. And we are all at the Bahrain Science Center, and everybody who's been working at the Bahrain Science Center on the work that was recognized for this award is really happy and excited for what's to come next. And I'd like to add also that the Bahrain Science Center won in the government's category, which basically recognizes governments and government entities that support social entrepreneurship as a means to the Sustainable Development Goals. And what we've been doing at the Bahrain Science Center for the past couple of years is to look at how can we foster this community that supports social innovation in Bahrain. And by that we created Ghaya and co-created this with the community and local social enterprises and stakeholders in the ecosystem.
Wow.
And so it's really a celebration of this collaboration of everyone that had a role to create Ghaya, which is an ecosystem for science-driven innovation and social entrepreneurship in Bahrain.
That is amazing. Wow, I mean, I'm getting goosebumps right now just hearing the idea itself. I mean, again, we are in good hands. Definitely, definitely. Tell us more about the center itself.
Sure. So the Bahrain Science Center operates under the Ministry of Youth and Sport Affairs. And it has been launched in August 2018. And we look to do three main things, or let's say our scope of works lies within these three main things. To build and create awareness about the Sustainable Development Goals, so shedding light on these key environmental and social challenges that are faced in Bahrain. The second aspect is building capacity, whether it's for individuals, youth, or organizations. And how can they play a role in contributing to the SDGs?
Right.
And third, and it's key, when we look at the work at the Bahrain Science Center, is how can we foster collaboration and partnerships with different entities across the board to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals.
Wow, wow, there's a lot going on there, definitely.
Yeah.
And you know, pretty much all the youth coming there and just passing by and get to learn pretty much about sustainability and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
How can you see them right now? How do you see the youth right now in Bahrain, like pretty much embracing SDGs and all of that? As we had a lot of interviews right here with brilliant youth and pretty much like embracing the whole thing, sustainability and development. From your perspective, how do you see it?
So we definitely look at youth playing a key, pivotal role in the country, in developing the country and contributing to Sustainable Development Goals. And in the past few years, there have been so many community-led, youth-led initiatives, projects, organizations, social enterprises, all they're delivering impact to the community in Bahrain and addressing key challenges here. So they are definitely the future of the country, and they have started and they are playing such a key role in achieving the SDGs.
It is so amazing to see what's happening here, like, you know, when it comes to sustainability from an economical point of view, environmental, political, and all the things that we are working on to pretty much bring sustainability and development all together in one place in Bahrain. And it's just like, they seem too smart. Like sit down, it's like, okay, now I'm keeping up with you, not the other way around. It's just amazing. So tell us more about the activities you've been doing at the Science Center.
Sure. So as we all know, our youth, our Bahraini youth are so eager to create change, and they look for opportunities, and they just keep on grabbing them on the go. And so the Bahrain Science Center offers different kinds of opportunities through different ways. So we do this through visits to the center. So hopefully when we reopen the center later this year, it will be open to visitors, and we welcome everyone to visit the Bahrain Science Center.
Amazing.
To go through all the exhibits that we have, the interactive exhibits that talk about the SDGs and share concepts about the Sustainable Development Goals. Additionally, we also do programs for schools where they organize field trips to the Bahrain Science Center, and we deliver impactful and learning workshops and sessions to the students from grade 1 till grade 12. We also do programs for universities and organizations, and we curate and design these programs and workshops to their need, again, all aligned with the SDGs. Additionally, the key role that we play is in being this backbone organization that supports social enterprises in Bahrain. So we also have programs and projects and opportunities that support social enterprises in Bahrain, one of which was the Ghaya Fellowship, which was for social enterprises in Bahrain, and we launched the first version of that last year, supported by Tenkeen, and we hope to launch another version of that. We've also launched different programs such as the Ghaya Impact Internship programs, which allowed 10 remarkable Bahraini youth to be placed within social enterprises in Bahrain as an internship opportunity, and they had learning opportunities throughout workshops and such. Additionally, we also want to create a space for young people to contribute in data and research, and how we've done that is through launching programs using a citizen science approach, meaning how do we engage the general public in gathering, analyzing data that's important to the SDGs, that's relevant to the SDGs. And so we've launched 2 different programs where school students and university students and really youth who are in the work field participated to go on field trips to collect data related to the environment. And so there's so much more that the Bahrain Science Center does, and we encourage you to follow our Instagram to follow what we'll be launching later this year.
There is so much going on. You've been very busy. The
Yes,
team, the
very
entire
much.
team has been very busy. I can
Yeah.
only just even ask you, what's the future like? Like, what are you pretty much heading to?
So-
I'm sure SDG related, but
Yeah.
in what way?
Yeah, sure. So what we're looking to is one, definitely reach as many young people as possible, as many organizations as possible. And what we really want to create is that the Bahrain Science Center to be this hub and central point for the social innovation community in
Okay.
Bahrain. We really want to look at the needs of the sector in Bahrain and look at it thriving. And so there's a lot to come for the sector, and this is an invitation to everyone, to all the stakeholders that play a role in this ecosystem of innovation, of social entrepreneurship in Bahrain,
Right.
to come together and to collaborate towards the SDGs, towards social innovation, and to allow the sector to really grow in Bahrain.
I just love it how the narrative changed, right? Since, let's say, our generation to this generation right now as well, how the narrative changed in the sense like it was all about just productivity and just produce more and get more certificates, that kind of stuff, and reach their certain status. But now, as we learned, it's like even though if you studied and you have the certificate for a certain thing, now it's all about what's the outcome.
Yeah,
You know, is it sustainable?
exactly.
Is it not?
Yeah.
You know, we were holding on to the whole point of oil production and aluminum and gas, and now it's like it's more than that. It's the digital assets right now. There's a lot going on. You have the blockchain, you have the metaverse going taking wild place. You have the environment right now, waste management, all
A
that
lot
kind of
to
stuff.
keep up with.
A lot to keep up
Yeah.
with, like you said yourself. And it's just like, okay, how can we develop? How can we sustain all
Yeah.
this happen instead of just consuming it? How can we sustain it? So what you're doing is a huge deal.
Thank you
I
so
really
much.
appreciate that.
Thank you. And we really encourage that, just like you said, how can we create innovative solutions to address these key social and environmental challenges that we face? So how do we go towards a more solution-oriented mindset and landscape here in Bahrain towards the SDGs?
Totally, totally. Especially what's happening right now as we have now the Ministry for Sustainable Development and
Yeah.
the Ministry for Environment and Oil. And as like we have new directions, new things to achieve and new goals. And we're just a few years away from 2030.
Yeah, the
It's
country
crazy.
is heading in a really great direction.
And in a good speed and pace,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, we can talk about this forever. But
Yeah.
if you're going to leave us with a few advices or quotes or a few last words for me and the viewers,
Yeah.
what's that going to be?
So first and foremost, I really want to acknowledge everyone who's played a key role to Bahrain Science Center getting this award. So the Bahrain Science Center team, everyone who's there currently and has been there and played a key role there. And 3B Associates, who we've worked with very closely in co-creating Gaia, and all the social enterprises and stakeholders that were part of this process. So really want to extend our gratitude and congratulations to them, because it's a joint celebration, really. It's not just the Bahrain Science Center celebration. Another key thing we also want to share with everyone, we definitely invite and encourage youth in Bahrain and organizations who are really interested in having a long-term sustainable impact on the country to stay tuned with the Bahrain Science Center for SDGs, and we're eager to launch more and more things to support the SDGs in Bahrain and the social innovation community. And in the end, for us to create this change, we need to foster this collaborative mindset. We need to be working together, and we really hope that we create a lot of change in Bahrain.
Definitely, and you are already doing that, and I can only imagine the future, how it's going to be like with your presence and all the amazing things you've been doing with the center. Well, Latifa, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Definitely, and you know, our sincerest gratitude is revealed to every member of the center itself for all you've done, and congratulations again
Thank
for
you.
the award. It was
Thank you.
amazing, and we can't wait to see you again with more talks and advancements with the center.
Thank you so much, Bara.
Most definitely.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Bahrain is heading in a beautiful pace, in a beautiful way, all the way to our SDGs heading to 2030. All that took place in an interview with Latifa Mtawi right here on Bahrain Now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've made it to the finish line. A huge thank you to all of our guests for joining us tonight. Another huge thank you to all of you watching us at home. As always, be sure to reach out to us on our social media accounts shown below. We love hearing from you. I'm Bara Abdulla. Till next time, Bahrain, good night and God bless.